Good morning. Good morning and welcome back to those of you who are just getting back, and to the rest of you who haven't been away or at least have been back for a couple of weeks, happy Thursday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tony Shepard. I'm currently the chair of the Faculty Senate, and I wanted to take a moment this morning to describe something that the Senate has been working on recently that many of you will see this semester. During the fall, the Faculty Senate finished work on a new policy that's been 2.5 years in the making, and which replaces a policy that's 20 years old on resource allocation. The new policy on instructional program priorities requires a periodic comparison of every academic program on campus, and we're undertaking this for the first time this semester. This isn't a phony exercise where everybody gets a pat on the back and a meets expectations label. It's a detailed ranking process, and half of the programs will fall below the median by definition. Some will be disappointed and question the criteria. But this is probably the most collaborative and extensively debated new policy since the policy it replaced. And it's been written with unprecedented levels of consultation between the president, provost, and the faculty through the shared governance process. I say this as an illustration of the way things are changing. It's very hard to conduct business as usual when there isn't a usual. With that in mind, it's my pleasure to introduce President Alexander Gonzalez, who's going to tell us more about where and how we proceed from here. President Gonzalez.
Good morning. Thank you, Tony, for those words and that introduction. Thank you for coming today, and welcome to the beginning of yet another semester. It's good to see everyone back on campus, and I hope that you had a nice holiday break. I want to begin by addressing the budget, which I know is on everyone's mind. Although it didn't feel like January right after the break, in fact, I saw a few people wearing shorts on campus before it got cold, the beginning of the calendar year means that the budget season is underway in California. As many of you have certainly heard, Governor Jerry Brown has proposed a budget for the CSU that is essentially flat. That means that the $750 million in cuts that we took for the current year were not restored. Additionally, his budget relies on a tax initiative being passed by voters on the November ballot. If the measure does not pass, we will again face trigger cuts. The proposed amount of these cuts is $200 million, or double what it was this past year. There are still many negotiations and machinations that will unfold over the next few months at the state capitol, so stay tuned. And I will continue to send out messages whenever there is an important budget news. For our campus, the situation for the rest of this fiscal year has not changed. We are using reserves to cover the current trigger cuts, and we continue to reduce spending where we can. Fortunately, our enrollment is once again where we want it to be. That, combined with our cautious approach to budgeting, has left us in a relatively better shape than we would be. That said, I don't want to underestimate or understate how difficult this is for everyone. Using reserves is a one-time option of last resort. Once those funds are gone, they're gone. Over the last few years, we have cut back, implemented efficiencies, cut again, made sacrifices, and then cut even more. We have persevered and remained professional despite those who would view our work as an expense instead of an investment in the future. And most of all, our faculty, staff, and students have found ways to succeed and overcome the most difficult challenges to ever confront public higher education in California. For that, you deserve a round of applause, and I'm going to lead it. Please. Now, your success in this environment leads directly to my next point. Friends, colleagues, it has been more than a year since the conclusion of Destination 2010. We continue to enjoy many of its successes. We have put in place a framework that better encourages collaboration and achievement, and you heard from Tony this morning. We have modernized classrooms and added learning spaces. Faculty research is winning accolades at international levels, and we are publicizing it over social media. We are, as resources allow, upgrading space for departments and colleges, and we are better prepared to address competition, both from traditional campuses and proprietary institutions. In fact, the application trends for our campus suggest that more students are seeing Sacramento State as a campus of choice, and that's what we set out to do. So the evidence of your good work can be seen every day, right here on the campus. Thank you for that. Now the logical question, of course, is what's next? It's a question we need to answer not only for our community and for our students that we serve, but for ourselves as well. Today, I'm here to lay the groundwork for the answer to that question. And some of what I say will seem familiar because a lot of this is based on the great work that you've already been doing since the end of Destination 2010, along with the feedback that you've provided in discussions about the future of our campus. In other words, I heard you loudly and clearly. Friends, colleagues, fellow people involved in the same endeavor, both your actions and your words have convinced me that if we're to succeed in a state where funding is at the mercy of capital politics, and if we're to succeed in an era of higher education where competition for students is popping up everywhere, then we must learn from the last few years of budget cuts and think differently about how we can improve. We know that we can no longer simply rely on the state to restore our funding. It's up to us to demonstrate our value to the region that we serve and to become the best university we can be, a university of choice for students and a university for the 21st century. Already, we're seeing changes that are leading us in the right direction. We have examined how we deliver education at nearly every level and recommitted ourselves to academic advising. We have seen colleges and departments engaging in exhaustive and at times very difficult program reviews. We have seen the General Education Committee implement learning collaboratives with amazing success. We have seen divisions across our campus reinventing themselves in terms of both efficiency and quality. And in the weeks and months following the end of Destination 2010, dozens of you participated in the Futures Initiative focus groups that were essential to helping us shape what we're doing today. Your work on these efforts has proven that Sacramento State is ready, not just for the next step, but ready to make history in terms of leadership and success in higher education. I believe that we have the desire, the talent, and most importantly, the people, and by that I mean the faculty and staff, to make this happen. But since the conclusion of Destination 2010, the one thing that we've lacked amid all the great work that has been unifying has been a unifying campus-wide ambition that could help us focus on the larger goal. And it was clear that we didn't want Destination 2010 to be another 2.0 or something like Vision 2020. That would be like everyone else. And I don't know how clearly we can see with Vision 2020. Instead, in recognition of your hopes and efforts, and in hopes that a new initiative can further unleash our potential and open up innovative possibilities, we're launching an initiative that will marshal our intellectual resources and make Sacramento State a campus for the 21st century. We're calling this initiative Redefine the Possible. The first aspect of this initiative that I want to share with you is that you have my full support, and we have to flesh it out. You have the full support of senior leadership on this campus. as you embark on endeavors that can change Sacramento State for the better. So when I hear that a faculty member has put forward an idea to create a themed semester that promotes multidisciplinary study of issues like terrorism or water or race relations, I want you to know that we welcome such creative thinking. Or when an entire college seeks to reorganize to better reflect today's educational expectations, I welcome that discussion as well. Or when the Graduation Initiative Steering Committee seeks to implement roadmaps for student success for every major. What I say is, let's do it. Now, we must always be mindful of our financial resources when we explore ideas. But one of the most promising conclusions of the focus groups was that the bad state budgets did not dominate the conversation. Our students and faculty and staff and community members were ready to move forward, and I agree that the time is right. The adversity of the last few years gives us an opportunity to think boldly and creatively, to create pathways to success, to redefine the possible. That brings me to the second aspect of the initiative. There were some common themes that emerged from the Futures research, and they really helped us develop a set of values that we can use. So, based on the feedback from across the campus community, here are the values that we identified. A university for the 21st century, and we're already in the 21st century, is excellent and accessible, agile and efficient, modern and attractive, and a source of pride for the region and beyond. Now, listing these values, I purposely did not seek to limit their reach or their scope. Think of them as clues on a treasure map instead of a turn-by-turn directions on MapQuest. Again, the goal here is to unleash creativity. I want each and every one of us to use these as a beacon around which we can gather our creative energies. So in the months ahead, I will ask the vice presidents to conduct what we're calling possibility audits and report back on the specific areas where we can work differently so we can be better. It's my hope that these possibility audits will not only provide additional goals, but also give us a new direction for some of the other goals that we're holding on to, like a new science building that we have to have, a faculty-driven uses of novel teaching technologies, and better customer service for students, visitors, and for everyone. We will also work with the Faculty Senate as curriculum revision continues to move forward and identify how we can cooperatively capitalize on the opportunities before us. And I stress the word cooperatively. And we will set up a web page to keep everyone informed of our work and to solicit ideas for how we can change. Now, this brings me to the final aspect of the Redefine the Possible initiative. I sought a lot of feedback from inside and outside the campus, and the consensus was that the Leadership Begins Here slogan served its purpose well, but we're beginning to outgrow it. We have placed ourselves at the forefront of higher education, and we're thinking about the future in unprecedented ways. Now, we will not redefine the possible by merely reaching for the next highest rung on the ladder, because you've already demonstrated that we can reach even higher. The journey of Sacramento State is one that I hope will be measured in giant leaps as we blaze new trails in higher education and give our students the inspiration to achieve their dreams. To redefine the possible, we must do the unexpected. Our work to create a university for the 21st century will require a major commitment to looking beyond the limitations that we now perceive. We must not only look at how we can improve, but how we can reinvent ourselves in the name of improvement. We must stand up for innovation and stand out in our community, state, and the nation. I've seen a lot in my 33 years in higher ed in the CSU, and we're right in the middle of a great change from my perspective. There's a theory in evolutionary biology called punctuated equilibrium. And I see some of my science people over here, my friends. I'm a psychologist, so I'll try to make sure I get this right. Punctuated equilibrium says that a species exhibit little change for most of their history. But when significant change does occur, often it occurs in periods of environmental stress, and it happens very rapidly. And I believe that we're about that at the precipice of that rapid change in higher ed. Higher education in the 21st century will be defined by the decisions that we make in the years ahead. And, as Yogi Berra said, the fork in the road is clear. As I've said before, if we fail to meet the challenges of today and of tomorrow, we risk becoming a quaint memory of higher education and how it used to be. I believe that will not be the story of Sacramento State, and you've demonstrated that over and over again. I believe that we can and we will do the unexpected. Now, I know that I've been speaking to you about ideas and concepts, but in reality, what I'm really focusing on is you. It's people who make up the university. It's people doing their jobs as part of a larger endeavor who make the difference. It's people who care about our students, who make their dreams a reality. And it's people who want to see Sac State be the best and who move us forward as an institution. This morning, I'm asking each of you to recommit your efforts to building a positive future for our university. I'm asking you to redefine the possible and to do the unexpected. And I can tell you sincerely that I will. All of us are in this together. That fork in the road really is we can stay where we are and we can hope for the restoration of our funding, or we can move forward and we can think of new ways to do things. We can keep moving this great institution in its growth, in its reputation, and in the way we serve our students. And again, this is the spring semester. Every fall, we start out the new year. Think of this as the fall semester. This is where I think we need to go. I'm going to recommit, and I hope you will too. Thank you very much. And now, before I leave, what I want you to know is that we've created t-shirts for our new initiative. Now, I'm not the t-shirt salesman. Some university traditions are worth holding on to, and free t-shirts aren't going away anytime soon. But again, before anyone asks, I can assure you that no state dollars or student tuition funds were used. Now, you can, but I want everyone here to take advantage of a free gift, and I want everyone to take one away with you this morning. They're going to be outside. I hope that it encourages all of us, and that includes me, to remember that we really should think about doing the unexpected for our great university and the students that we serve. It doesn't mean that we're going to be doing something differently every day, but when you get those ideas, and when you think, gee, in the past that was never possible, try it. Let's see what can happen. I want us to take that other fork in the road. I want us to be successful, and I want us to wear those t-shirts. Thank you very much.